Hey everyone, my name is Wolfram Hempel. I'm the founder of Archentry, and in this video I want to show you how to add metrics from AWS CloudWatch directly to your Archentry diagrams using our new CloudWatch plugin. To activate the plugin, head over to the API tab and click the CloudWatch icon in the bottom left. Archentry will now ask you for an IAM role ARN. Now, this is something that needs a bit of explanation. Archentry uses STS, the Amazon Secure Token Service, to connect to your AWS account. This means you don't have to give us any kind of credentials, you don't have to share a secret access key, and we will never store any security critical information about your AWS account. Instead, you simply create an IAM role in your account, granted the minimal necessary rights, in this case CloudWatch read-only access, and allow Archentry's AWS account to assume that role. Finally, you only share the Amazon resource name of that role with us. To create such a role, head over to your AWS dashboard, go to the IAM page, and click Roles on the left-hand side. Next, click Create New Role. Select another AWS account as the trusted entity for this role. This will ask you about our account ID. You can copy it from the dialog panel right here. Next up, we want to make sure that both sides know which account is which, in order to circumvent something called the confused deputy problem. To do so, click this checkbox here that says Require External ID. Head back to Archentry, and on the dialog you'll find an external ID that's specific to only you. Copy it and paste it into the input on the AWS dashboard. Next, we need to define what our role is allowed to do. The CloudWatch plugin only needs a single permission, CloudWatch read-only access. Let's find it here and add it. From here on, it's fairly straightforward. Give your role any name you like, for example, CloudWatch access for Archentry, and click Create Role. Let's search for our new role. Select it, and up here is the ARN that Archentry needs. Let's copy it, head back to Archentry, and paste it into this input box. The only thing left is to select a region. At the moment, Archentry's CloudWatch integration is scoped to a single region only. Once you pick the region, click OK down here, and Archentry will do two things. It will immediately check if we can actually access the account using a given role. It will check if it has permissions to access CloudWatch metrics, and it will check if you do actually have any kind of metrics for that region. This is to circumvent, picking the wrong region or something. If all checks are successful, the plugin is enabled. You can use the CloudWatch plugin in two ways. You can add metrics to components, or you can add charts to your diagram directly. To add metrics to a component, click any AWS component, for example, an RDS instance. Here, a new button labeled Add AWS CloudWatch Metric has appeared. Click it, and you see this dialog. Metrics in CloudWatch are specified by a number of parameters. First, there's the namespace, defining what the metric is about, for instance, AWS RDS or AWS Lambda. Each namespace has a number of dimensions, and each metric can be identified by one or more dimensions. Here, we'll simply select our database by its DB instance identifier. The metric we want to display are read IOPS. But we don't want a sample count, we just want the average. Up here on the chart, we can choose the time frame, from 1 hour up to a whole week. Archentry automatically sets the time resolution based on the given frame and updates your metrics within an interval specific to that selected time frame. Alright, let's add a second metric for the same instance. This time, the average burst balance. We now have both metrics in the component's context bar, but, even nicer, when we switch to kiosk mode, we can also see them in the component's context panel. The other way to add CloudWatch metrics is as a chart that's directly part of your diagram. To do so, click Widget on the main menu and select Chart. Again, we choose which CloudWatch metric we want. Since our chart isn't directly associated with a given component, we have to select the namespace this time ourselves. For this example, we show the sum of all invocations within a day for a given Lambda function. Click OK, and our chart displays the latest metrics and refreshes itself automatically. And that's it for the initial integration. Going forward, we're also looking to add alarms that make components blink red if a critical threshold is breached, and some other nice features around metrics and monitoring. So stay tuned, and thanks so much for listening.